Keep your vibrations high and watch how your blessings.
Grand Rising. Grand Rising. Let's just keep on playing some music.
Speak to my soul, speak to my soul, speak to my soul. Wake up to the take-up, time for a shake-up. Everything is changing, there's a real wake-up. Mr. Wise is way ahead, go back, listen to what he said. Truth being told, expose the lie. The brand new sky is something you can't deny. This is the reason why. My soul's on fire.
Grand Rising.
My soul's on fire. It's like the light moving up higher. My soul's on fire. On fire. Turn up, it's getting hot. So learn up, burn up. We're being taught the past, future, and the now. You will understand if you allow Mr. Wise to
Mr.
take
Wise.
you through. He's gonna take that walk with you. He can give you the notes, let your spirit reply. You will feel why my soul's on fire. My soul's on fire. It's like the light moving up higher. My soul's on fire. On fire. Mr. Wise, can you say it again? Louder for the ones in the back. Mr. Wise, can you play it again? You keep my soul on track. Mr. Wise, can you tell us again?
All ginned up by Democrats.
You know, from the beginning to the very end, you make my spirit glow. Speak to my soul, speak to my soul. Speak to my soul, speak to my soul. Speak to my soul, speak to my soul. Speak to my soul, speak to my soul's on fire. My soul's on fire. It's like the light moving up higher. My soul's on fire. My soul's on fire. My soul's on fire. It's like the light moving up higher. My soul's
Well, thank you, Mr. Director.
on fire.
Tap the screen. Tap the screen. See that gaming account? It's all fucked up. Whew. Tap that screen, tap that screen, tap that screen. We're going to get into it. I'm trying to find this one.
Do you deny me? You chose the lie created for you just to hide in. Why obsessed about surviving?
I'm fully
Fighting over creation made for all to thrive in. When love speaks,
you say you're listening.
I
I
wonder
wonder
if
if
you
you
hear
hear
me.
me.
Love is
Love is love, love is love,
always
always
is,
is,
always
always
was, will
was,
always be
always,
just love,
just love,
always complete,
always,
always enough.
always enough.
Love is love, love is love, always is, always was, will always be just love, always
Always
complete,
complete, always enough.
Love is love. Was your heart ever my home? So cold that chaos sits on your throne. Stuck in a loop for how long? Your pride convinced the right is wrong. When I speak, you say you're listening. When will you ever hear me? Love is love, love is love, always was, always, just love, always, always enough. Love is love, always is, always was, always, be just love, always complete, always enough. Was your heart ever my home? So cold that chaos sits on your throne. Stuck in a loop for how long? Your pride convinced that right is wrong.
Yeah, they took Jimmy Kimmel. So, but I think he's gonna get that back though, because you can't push for freedom of speech and also be the ones that's tearing down freedom of speech. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna push for the freedom of speech of what for white supremacy, but when somebody else speaks against it, that this is a double-edged bullshit, and that's why I think more people need to be talking about it. I think we need to, at this point, in life, I think we need to stop pussyfooting around the fact that prejudice, racism, white supremacy, some idea of superiority exist at a great level in this world right now. Oh, you can walk around and pretend like you're not looking at somebody with a side eye. You can walk around, pretend like you're not trying to make somebody out to be the N-word, all of that, right? But the world we live in is opening up the door like to free racism. And you guys, everyone wants to ignore it. Everyone wants to act like this is not what's taking place. But it's more so opening up the door for racist people to have the ability to explore their racist, heritage, active, whatever. And then it suppresses anyone from speaking out against that. So you can't have freedom of speech only work one way. It has to work both ways. If you want freedom of speech for Trumpers, then you got to leave the door open for people to, because think about it. If you open up this freedom of speech door, how many people going to speak against Trump? How many people got some shit they want to say about our president right now and not saying it because he's the president, right? Or whatever the case may be. So you open up this door, you opening up a can of worms.
It's fairly consistent. Thank you.
Gentleman yields back to the lady from Texas to recognize.
Man, oh man, there has been so much today, and I truly don't know where to start. So I'm just going to make sure that we start off with a few facts. So a couple of facts that we need to make clear for everyone is that, number one, Director Christopher Wray when he was appointed to be the head of the FBI, was appointed by Donald Trump. Now, I will agree that I definitely take issue with a number of decisions that Donald Trump makes, especially when it comes to the people that he decides to appoint to very important positions, including this one, because I did have to make sure that I wasn't going crazy. But when I say that you are the least qualified FBI director in the history of the FBI, that is real, because you are the only one that never even served with the FBI prior to joining. Yet we are supposed to believe that
That's
you are
false.
the greatest thing since sliced bread. I didn't ask you a question. Now, what I want to
Still
go
false.
through is to talk about why you are a failure and why, honestly, we just need to tell you bye-bye. I know that you got a little upset and you put on your show for your boss because it seems like you're trying to save your job when it came to talking to Senator Booker yesterday. But let's go through some of your failures. So before
If I could just pause it right there before she get into a lot of stuff, right? It is now coming out that Kash Patel and the FBI have put together a false narrative in regards to the Charlie Kirk shooting, right? They have put together a false narrative, and Candace Owens is breaking down all of the falsitries that are in their narrative, right? The fact that this, Pew Pure was so comfortable to go to, a local establishment 15 minutes down the road, right? The fact that they say that he disassembled the firearm on the rooftop, but then he reassembled the firearm in the woods where they found it assembled at, right? And furthermore, you say he left the screwdriver on the rooftop, but then you also say he put the gun back together in the woods somewhere, right? You say you found evidence on the screwdriver and evidence, or you say you found DNA on the screwdriver and DNA on a towel, but you never confirmed whether DNA was on the bullets or whether DNA was on the gun, right? This whole fucking story is bullshit. And someone's telling him to take the blame for their narrative. This could be a bigger problem. This could be espionage. This could be some sort of way to undermine our democracy. This is something bigger than just Charlie Kirk unaliving on a college campus, right? But no one's allowed to point the finger. That's why Trump is doing this whole no one talks about Charlie Kirk thing, because he don't want no one to speak about it, because then everything is going to point to some type of game, some type of bullshit. Do you get what I'm saying? I want y'all to think about that. I want y'all to really think about everything that's going on and how it's playing out right now, right? I want you guys to really think about how everything is going and how it's playing out right now, and really look at it for what it is. Don't try to manipulate it based off of your own perspective, right? I need you to look at this whole thing in entirety, right? There's no possible way that and then go listen to the conversation that the FBI released of him and his estranged roommate, right? Using words like vehicle instead of car, right? I'm not going to text my friend and say, hey, go pick up my vehicle, right? I'm going to say, yo, I left the car by no one. This is the problem with, these people who's painting this picture. They think we're fucking stupid. They think we, the people, is fucking stupid. This is why I stepped away. This is why I took a step back and said, man, listen, if I'm the only one that's seeing this layout, if I'm the only one that's seeing that the world is one big stage and this was one big ass fucking bullshit to undermine our democracy, literally, right? I want you guys to think about this. This is a way for Trump and the Republicans, however you want to look at it, whoever's behind this, probably come from fucking Putin or something, right? To undermine our democracy and deem the Democrats as a radical party that should not be able to operate. And then if you deem the Democrats as a radical party that should not be able to operate, who are we left with? Who are we left with? That's why Trump is trying to pass as many fucking things as possible, because the Republican has the office. It's the first time in a while that Republican holds everything. Everything is getting pushed right in front of him, right? And him or Mike Pence is making the fucking executive orders on a lot of shit that's getting passed. That's how they were able to get the big, beautiful bill passed, right? So we're looking at this wrong. They're trying to get as much shit put in order before the 2026 mid, right? 2026 mids, right? Where they possibly lose the seats. And we still not paying attention. We still have our eyes wide, glued shut. This is why I just say, you know what? I'm just going to go play the game. This is why you always hear me say, I'm just going to go play the game. Because for me to wrap my mind around everything that's going on, yet the people don't give a fuck. The people that it's happening to don't care. Are we glutton for punishment? Are we, what, somebody please explain to me what's going on. How can we see this much corruption, this much entanglement, this much espionage in our country and not say, you know what? Something's wrong. Something ain't right. Man, this shit is about to get ugly this year. And we not even at the end of this year yet. The tariff problem didn't even hit in yet. The tariff. Yes, they're going to fake another fucking pandemic or something like that for when the wintertime comes. You know how many people are actually sick right now? Go to your stores and look how much medicine is off them shelves, right? So many people are sick right now trying to self-medicate and hide the fact that so many people are sick, right? Because so many germs and shit is being passed in our kids' school, bringing it home. So many people is fucking sick right now with the change of this weather. Y'all don't think it's about to get bad? Man, I need y'all to open y'all eyes.
Before you were even confirmed, and I think one of my colleague from Georgia, pointed out that you are already targeting career officials so that you can direct illegal firings. Mind you, these cases that you were so upset about, which are the ones tied to Trump, the cases came through his handpicked FBI director.
Oh, sorry for the echo.
And frankly, when people sit around and say things like, oh, you know, we're happy because now we feel safe. I don't know who feels safe in this country except for the white supremacists, because I specifically as a Black woman definitely don't feel safe. And frankly, my colleagues have been real nice to you today, and I applaud them, but I don't have the same demeanor because I know that multiple colleagues on this side of the aisle have faced death threats. In fact, somebody tried to kill one of my colleagues. And frankly, I don't know if this FBI or under your leadership, if those people would have been caught. I don't have any confidence in you. And if we start talking about the reasons that I lack confidence, we could start with you not just wanting to acknowledge some simple facts. Simple facts like the vast majority of the threats are coming from right-wing extremism. And I know my colleagues have tried to stress this, but I decided that I would maybe do it in a different way. Number one, I have a couple of UCs. Kim Buck, one of multiple Republicans receiving death threats for voting against Jim Jordan as House Speaker.
Without objection.
Another one, Republican lawmaker says she received death threats after voting against Jim Jordan in Speaker's race.
Without objection.
In addition, there was another one from another colleague who now is leaving Congress because they said that they were calling his wife anonymously and threatening her life to the extent that she ended up sleeping with a firearm.
Without objection.
Okay, so here's the deal. How are we supposed to have confidence when you're sitting up here telling the Senate yesterday that it will take you 14 years before you can get the FBI fully staffed to do their jobs? You're also now redirecting resources so that they can go and play ICE agents on the streets. You're getting rid of your most...
Now, mind you, you know, Kash Patel is basically saying, thanks to Trump allowing us, to do what it is that we do, giving us this means of, access to do what we do, whatever the case may be. With them saying like, Trump is giving us the green light to do these things, then that, if you ask me, that kind of goes against what he said the first time, which is basically he was firing people that was in the FBI that, had political views or, had political sides or whatever. So that's why I say, all of this stuff is, I say it's crazy.
Y'all don't care about the Constitution unless it's the Second Amendment, and that's misinterpreted as well. Okay, there's other amendments to the Constitution, and we don't get to just change it because our fearless leader says that he doesn't like certain parts of the Constitution. We have a process again to get amendments, right? There are people that don't like the fact that there was an amendment so that women could vote, and guess what? We ended up with something like the SAVE Act because we don't want women to vote. Like literally, but I'm getting off track, so I'm gonna go back because I know that Ms. Jayapal wanted some time.
If that were true, that'd be a very serious matter. So I did.
But this is what I'm saying. Like, think about it. A group of people sit down and discuss different variations of situations that is taking place in our nation, and still
People, as it relates to the First Amendment, going through this process, is there a constitutional amendment that you can think of that is associated with that?
Probably many, but it is.
AG, I want you to tell me whether or not it's lawful or lawless ignoring court orders,
That's lawless.
impounding congressional funds,
Violates the law.
invoking emergency powers when there is no emergency,
Unlawful.
sending troops without an invite,
Violates the law.
covering for pedophiles. I just threw that one in there. Okay, I'll move to the next one. What about revoking birthright citizenship?
Violates the 14th Amendment of the Constitution.
How about violating due process?
Violates the 5th and 14th Amendment of the Constitution.
How about what we see happening with redistricting that would in some way minimize, if not delete, the voices of people of color as they are going through and illegally going through this process? Is there a constitutional amendment that you can think of that is associated with that?
Probably many, but it is
Okay.
unlawful and unconstitutional and
Thank-
un-American.
Thank you. As well as, can you tell me if it is lawful or lawless to violate free speech?
That's lawless.
Okay, sounds about right, because we had to have a conversation about Jimmy Kimmel, so I'm gonna say free Jimmy Kimmel for sure, and hopefully we will deal with the FCC chairman. But the reason that I wanted to go through that long list, and that was actually not even the half of it, is because since this administration has come in on January 20th, they have engaged in some form of every single thing that I said on that list, even the part about covering for pedophiles. So my question is, why are we sitting here today? Number one, they already passed their bootleg laws, and it's clear that even the bill author is not well informed about what his bill does. Because as has already been stated, at the age of 18, you are an adult. So this idea that somehow 21-year-olds were now somehow juveniles under DC law, is that accurate or inaccurate?
It was inaccurate, misunderstood the way the law works.
Correct. Could not understand how to read the law and decided that they were going to rewrite the law and mess up the law. And to be clear, we were talking about judges being able to have enough discretion to decide whether or not they were going to give someone an opportunity maybe to clean their record, such as the bill author was given that opportunity under Florida law, because his second felony was picked up when he was 21, to be clear. So he was older than 18. And under this law, if you were under 25, so 24 or under, then the judges had discretion, correct?
But only in certain kinds of cases, not the most serious cases. And in fact, that discretion was, as we know, exercised very rarely. And it would have been an opportunity had the Congress wanted to talk with the folks who are involved in applying that law and seeing how it works, to understand that this is not a law that's out of sync with other states, and it's working.
Thank you so much. And the reason that it matters is because now the gentleman from Florida is trying to become a governor, and chances are maybe DC, once they get statehood, could have had a future governor that had a second chance. But since they don't want other people to have chances that they've been given, they want to just pretend like they are bigger and better and badder than. So I will move on, because I am frustrated that we are having this hearing when we know that this administration can't take care of their own business. As we know, they recently illegally bombed yet another Venezuelan boat, and we may be headed for a war. We know that this particular president has decided that he wants to shake down people as relates to the First Amendment, because he has filed not one lawsuit, not two lawsuits, but he has filed numerous lawsuits. He filed a lawsuit against the New York Times. He filed one against the Wall Street Journal, against CBS, against ABC, against the Des Moines Register. He is doing all of this because he wants to quash any speech that is not appreciative or lauding him, which is pretty much anything that's factual. So let's talk a few facts about these January 6th felons that should still be incarcerated because they went through the process, but because they were doing things on his behalf, of course, he wanted to let them go. So they released more than 1,000 people who participated in the insurrection on this government, many of whom had previous criminal records, like Mr. Theodore Mendenforth, who was convicted of predatory criminal sexual assault of a child, or Mr.
All right, we're not going to get into that particular part of that. But the reason why I'm showing certain clips is because everything that they're bringing up, right, is things that we've been missing.
Do you think that's
right?
stupid?
We've been missing different things that is pertaining to what's going on, right? We've been missing it. And like I said, Kash Patel should get fired, if not fired already, right? Kash Patel should get fired, if not fired already, right? And the reality of what's going on, the reality of what's taking place is so much bigger than what we're giving it credit for. Maybe because we're stuck at work, maybe because, we're so busy, maybe we're not looking at it, can't see it, or something of that magnitude. But, it's a lot changing right now in the world. And I just want to point some of it out. And then I'm going to go play the game. I'm going over to TikTok to play the game. We will start doing interviews and talks on this page. I don't know what time we're going to pick. We got to try to get our numbers back up there. We got to try to get a rotation of people back into the live. I'll figure out something. But as of right now, I'm just going to play the game. I understand how TikTok work. It's all about World Star. It's all about, who you're coming at, who you're attacking. It's more so just like, Kai Cenat and them said at Streamer University. In order for people to grow their pages, they have to find somebody and beef with, right? And we're not beefing with nobody. So therefore, our page is going to be a little bit tougher to grow this page. Plus, people have to be willing to want to help you grow your page. See, a lot of people favor like women, black women, when it comes down to like a black man. However you look at it, you guys only have like one ideal image for us, which is like rage or some low vibration of physicality, physical attack, some shit like that. So that's all you guys like want to see out of us. For a black man to be on here talking with knowledge, wisdom, with a high level of understanding, that's like an alien. You know what I mean? that's like an alien. So I get it, and I'm okay with it.
No,
No,
I think the American people believe the truth, that I'm not in the weeds on the everyday movements
Oh,
of
you're not in
inmates.
the weeds?
What I am
The
doing is
most-
protecting
the
this country,
most- the
providing
most
historic
significant
reform,
witness-
and
the most
combating the
significant witness
weaponization of intelligence
Epstein
by the likes
files
of you.
cover-up
And we have
gets pushed
countlessly proven you to
from
be a
your
liar in
administration,
Russiagate, in
and you
January
call that
6th.
being
You are
in
the biggest
weeds?
fraud to ever sit in the
This
United States
stinks to
Senate.
high
You are a
heaven.
disgrace to this
This stinks to high
institution
heaven.
and an utter
And
coward.
I'm not surprised.
I'm not
I'm
surprised
not
that you continue
surprised
to lie
that the-
from
the-
your
that the-
perch and put on a show
two
so
of
you can go
of you
raise money
fell,
for your
and for good
charade.
reason.
You are a political buffoon at best.
Well, you can take an internet troll.
Take
and
it
make-
to
you
the
can take
bank
an
that the
internet-
FBI is
you can
protecting this
make an
country
internet
and the
troll,
state and
the FBI
citizens of the
director
California.
will
We are
always
bringing
be nothing more
historic
than an
reform.
internet
Point of
troll.
order. But all you care about is a child sex predator that was prosecuted by a prior administration, and the Obama Justice Department and the Biden Justice Department did squat. And what did President Trump do? Bring new charges courageously. And what have we done?
Chairman,
You said
take
I'm the
control
most
of this
transparent
situation.
FBI director in history.
Take control of this
33,000 pages of information to you. I
Walter.
challenge you to say anything credibly to the truth. Go ahead and run to the cameras where you want to go now.
On September 17th, 2025, during a House Judiciary Committee hearing, Republican Representative Thomas Massey confronted FBI Director Kash Patel about unreleased documents related to Jeffrey Epstein, specifically mentioning FD 302 files that reportedly name at least 20 high-profile individuals, including Jess Staley, former
And like I said, the reason why I'm showing these particular things is because listen, he should be fired. He hide information. This whole thing is upside down. If you listen,
And the FBI working with state and local law enforcement officials in Utah have caught the assassin of Mr. Charlie Kirk. Is that right?
We have a suspect, yes, sir.
And you did that within 48 hours, did you not?
33 hours.
33 hours. Congratulations. We've had other political assassinations. Back in June, an assassinated Representative Melissa Hoffman, Mr. Hoffman, Senator John Hoffman, and Mrs. Hoffman in Minnesota. You and the FBI and Minnesota state and local law enforcement officials caught the assassin within 48 hours, did you not?
I believe that timeline's correct, Senator.
Congratulations. Sometimes we miss the forest for the trees. Good work. Did Mr. Kirk's assassin act alone?
As I've said since the beginning, Senator, it is very much an ongoing investigation. And I can't speak to the state charges. That's for the state to address on their own, but we are providing them with the same investigatory findings reporting the department. And as I noted to Senator, I believe it was Cornyn or Hawley, that there are a number of individuals that are currently being investigated and interrogated, and a number yet to be investigated and interrogated specific to that chat room. So we are very much in our ongoing posture of investigation.
So others could have been involved.
Yes, sir.
I asked you this last time you were here. Cash, you remember Mr. Peter Strzok and Ms. Lisa Page?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Strzok was an FBI agent. Ms. Page was an FBI lawyer. They were both very aggressive anti-Trump political activists who allowed their political opinions to affect their work at the FBI. Is that a fair statement?
I believe their text messages and the testimony that was secured by the OIG and DOJ speak for themselves.
In fact, Mr. Struck and Ms. Page were having.
Now, see, Cash Patel's lying. Like, he said he'd do the investigation, so on and so forth, that they're going to, you know, talk to whoever they need to talk to regarding this situation. But if you go to Candace Owens is not only saying that before anything, Charlie Clerk, you know, had a meeting. Charlie Clerk, you know, she's allegedly, supposedly, you know, exposing a lot of this. A lot of her TikToks are exposing, you know, the breakdown. And I just want to say, like, and you guys can go check it out. It's now, I can't find it on here. I don't know particularly
Well, that has never
where it's
happened
at.
before. I guess we could say Charlie broke the internet.
Let me see if it's a short.
A mere minutes after Charlie Kirk is shot, there are two men that look rather mysterious. They appear, they move his chair, and they take down the camera that's directly or was directly behind his head. Why did they do that? See, slow down here. He pulls out the chair. He stands on it. And yes, that would be a big no-no for a crime scene. You don't move anything. He takes down the camera that is directly above where Charlie was sitting and would be able to provide.
Why would you take down that camera? That camera would have the most on there because it's looking out at the crowd.
The SIM card from it, or the SD card, if you will.
And she's been exposing like multiple clips of different things. Look how he's looking around suspiciously as he takes the SIM card out and puts a different SIM card in there, right? So this is why I say, like, you know, we have to pay attention. They are now like, so now what they're going to do with Candace Owens is they're going to reverse it on her. So when the next couple of days come out, what they're going to do is they're going to try to make it seem like Candace Owens fell out with Charlie Clerk over something, you know, over her going too deep. They're probably going to put out like the part documentary where she's seen talking to Kanye West about, you know, slavery, whatever she was talking to Kanye West about when it comes out on because Charlie Clerk and Kanye West was hanging out, and it's all in Kanye West's documentary. So when you see Charlie Clerk, her, and Kanye West hanging out, they're going to try to make it seem like Charlie Clerk and Candace Owens fell out, right? Over over her going too deep in some type of rhetoric. This is what they're going to say, right? Because she's exposing too much right now, right? She's exposing like her being a Mason in the, in that group, right? And then, the Republicans are going to try to say that this was already a planned hit based off of the Obama administration or some other administration, right? So what they're going to say is, it was already some secret papers in the FBI. Cash Patel is probably going to say he found, a secret investigation that was, targeting Candace and the other group, so on and so forth. Just watch how they turn this whole thing, because it's one big circus now. It's like watching The Apprentice or any other show that we watch on TV. This is like that. This is like watching those shows. You know how when you go to the movies and you get so used to watching movies, you're kind of like predicting the stuff that's going to happen before it happens. You know, it's like you almost seen it before, right? If you go look at her, she's talking about, you know, how, you know, Charlie was fighting, you know, different variations of things. And then they try to say, she's saying like, don't you guys, because remember, Charlie is the leader of their group. So they're going to put somebody in his seat. They got to replace him with somebody, right? Maybe Charlie views was starting to look different than what they wanted the direction of that group to go in, right? That's why she said, don't try to replace him, you know, with somebody. Look, listen to what she said.
You should depose and tell the Masons of Turning Point USA. You put a shill in Charlie Kirk's chair, in Charlie Kirk's company, and you try to tell us to follow that individual, I will be an enemy of you. There will be nothing that can stop me. Okay? And I want you guys to understand, this is not a threat. This is a promise. There will be nothing that can stop me. I will release every single text message. So to those of you who are trying that, I'm seeing the messages. I am telling you to back off right now. Like right now, don't do it. Okay.
Now, see, she's talking about the messages on the back end of who's going to take Charlie Kirk's spot, so on and so forth. That's what she's talking about, right? And she's saying, like, if y'all put somebody in his spot, right? You know what I mean? Whoever it might be. I'm not sitting down lightly with this. You know what I mean? I'm not sitting down lightly with this. You're not going to replace him with some figurehead, so on and so forth. So there is a lot that's being exposed right now. You know, there's a lot that's being exposed right now.
I don't know who specifically came out and said that Bibi killed Charlie Kirk, but now that he's for the second time denying that he is, people are going, what's actually going on here?
Joseph Goebbels, the Nazi propaganda minister, said that the bigger the lie, the faster it will spread. Well, somebody has fabricated a monstrous big lie that Israel had something to do with Charlie Kirk's horrific murder. This is insane. It is false. It is outrageous. Charlie Kirk was a giant, a once-in-a-century talent who defended freedom, defended America, defended our common Judeo-Christian civilization. Charlie loved Israel. He loved the Jewish people. He told me so in a letter that he sent me just a few months ago. One of my greatest joys as a Christian, he said, is advocating for Israel and forming alliances with Jews to protect Judeo-Christian civilization. He encouraged me to make the case directly to the American people about how vital Israel is to U.S. national security. He told me, the Holy Land is so important to my life, it pains me to see support for Israel slip away. Now, if Charlie disagreed with a policy of mine or a decision here and there, not only did I not mind, I welcomed it. This is the essence of Charlie. This is the essence of a free country. It's exactly what Charlie stood for. And I knew that his suggestions always came from the heart, from his love for Israel and from his love for the Jewish people. A few weeks before his death, I spoke to Charlie. I invited him to visit Israel again. And sadly, that won't happen. Now some are peddling these disgusting rumors, perhaps out of obsession, perhaps with Qatari funding. What I do know is this: Charlie Kirk was a great man, and a great man deserves honor, not lies. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. May your memory be a blessing.
I don't know, guys. That Israeli propaganda just ain't hitting the same. You're not making people feel comfortable with the fact that you keep coming out to have to deny.
See, now you can go, check it out on her page, but she's, exposing a lot of this, and it hit, I guess it hit different. because the reason why she laughed is because she's the one who said that Israel might have had something to do with it, because Charlie changed his views on Gaza. So you can go look into all of that. That's why she probably laughed about it, because he's like, why did you respond to it? Why did you come out and respond to it? We could have said anybody had something to do with it, any country, India, whoever, the fact that he says, in pertaining to the bigger the lie, Charlie was a giant, a once in a lifetime, whatever, however he's, pointing this out. She's exposing a lot of it with facts, merits, right? That's why I say you gotta go, you have to go pay attention to this. Look, he's changing out the camera, looking around, putting a different SIM card there, right?
Who is that? Like, actually, I should be able to figure this out because I've got a pretty big network at Turning Point USA. I'm the person's wearing shades. I'm not recognizing the individual. And I reach out to somebody on the inside and I'm just like, who's this person? And they tell me the person's name. And I go, oh, wait a second. And I look again. I'm like, I know this person because it's been a few years, but I know this person. This person's been around Turning Point for quite some time. And I'll say this right now. He was extremely forthcoming. Like, as soon as I reached out, I just sent a text because I still had his number. And he was extremely forthcoming, immediately got onto the phone. Then I asked, okay, well, what about this camera thing? Why would you grab the cameras? And he says, because the first thing that I thought is that I better secure the footage and be helpful and hand that footage over to the feds. Well, obviously, that's where things get into a pickle with me because we don't trust the feds. I'm like, just send me the footage. Please let me look at it. There's a lot of conspiracies that are floating around right now. People don't know what to believe. I said, look, I'm not going to publish it. I just want to see it. And I think you should let me see that because people trust me. They know that I'm very serious about this. So in the short run, he agrees that rather than send the footage, he will get onto a FaceTime call with me and he will show me the footage on his computer. He did that and I watched the footage and I'm going to tell you what I saw. First and foremost, there is nothing gory about this shot at all. And so again, I am still going to work with him to get me the footage so that I think it should be shared. There's nothing gory about this footage from the back. The thing that really stood out to me, and I just kept asking him to replay it over and over and over again, is that there's no blood from the back. I'm very confused, not by what I saw, but what I didn't see. Okay. That's pretty much all I can tell you right now. Amir.
Do you hear what she said? Do you hear what she said? The behind view. Now, this is the camera that is directly behind his head. There's no blood. Right? You see, I'm telling you guys, like, the world is one big stage. I will not stop stressing that the world is one big stage. And I promise you, it is hilarious at how much they are trying to say, like, this could be AI, this might not really happen. There was a trap door right in front of him. There's just so many different points that break this down that will have you like, what the hell is really going on in this world? And she says, like, I'm more so looking at what I didn't see. Right? I didn't see blood. I didn't see this. He would not send it to her. Right? He played it from his, and he might have altered it. They don't tell him what he actually played her. But she's like, I didn't see this. I didn't see that. Maybe they did 2 takes. Maybe they did 1 take that wasn't aired. Right? And then maybe there was another take that was aired. They did one that wasn't aired, and then they did the one that was aired. And then also, what about the if that stick was a recording, right? Uh um um the wife was too calm. Yeah, like the wife for her to give a speech. However, and that's I was gonna bring that up too. I was gonna bring that up too. Like the wife seemed hella like she had to rehearse that. You know what I mean? Like the way she came out and she was like, she didn't say, like she said something that caught me off guard because she didn't say like my voice will be heard, across the nation. She said like a grieving wife's voice. Like the way she said the shit was so fucking scripted. You know what I mean? She didn't say her voice. She like said like, the grieving's wife voice will be heard and it will strengthen the neck. Like the way she said this shit, and I want you guys to go back and listen to it. The way she said it was just like, what? Like it was scripted. It was all scripted. It was a threat. She like threatened everyone. Like, and that's why this is how you create civil unrest, right? Our country is not going to have rest because of this. We are not going to be at peace. You know how we all say, we got to push this peace, we're in this together, so on and so forth. This is going to create another fucking rift, right? Because anyone who speaks against his views now will be deemed to be, prejudice against bigotry and all of this other shit. It's almost like we can't talk about racism now. It's almost like, and you go back to Trump addressing people about the Smithsonian Museum. Maybe you guys don't know, but the Smithsonian Museum is where the history of America is, right? You have one White House reporter say that the museum leaves white people saddened when they come out of there, right? Because the history of how they did this or did that, right? And they have Trump say, yes, I'm going to have them change a lot of shit in the museum. Wait, hold on. How the fuck are you going to have them change history? Nobody caught that. Yet, the Smithsonian Museum. And he said this at the Bible Museum. You say quick after they removed him, after they removed the body. She said after they removed the body off the stage, that's when he went up there and got that. I guess before the investigation started, it's actually illegal for him to move anything from that scene because it's a crime scene. So if he removed anything, just him taking that camera down, he's saying, oh, he was trying to be as cooperative as possible, but the cooperated thing would be to leave everything there and note to the investigators that it is there, right? Not for you to take it out, switch the fucking SIM card out, and then no, that's hiding evidence. That's how you show that you're hiding something. But neither here nor there. We definitely have to look at this for what it's going to be. This is not about to this is not about to set the toll for what you think is going to set the toll for. It actually does the reverse, and the narrative that is going to create how fast they're trying to get this guy's background to mimic some idea, unaliver this guy. Remember the Tyler guy, he had a conversation with him, in that conversation, he was very adamant and argumentative about being or being called a Democrat. You know what I mean? He was like, who said I was a Democrat? Who said I was a Democrat? Right. And a lot of times, Democrats are just like Republicans, you know what I mean? They'll more so say like, what's it to you if I'm a Democrat? Or, what does it matter if I'm a Democrat or not, right? The same thing that the Republicans would say, they would just have a little bit more pride in it or whatever. So even going back and looking at the altercation or conversation that he did have with Charlie, it seems auspicious, right? How the wife gave her speech seemed a little bit like, some 3000 type shit. That's what it seemed like to me. I'm sorry. It just seemed like a movie. You know what I mean? He left behind a wife, 2 kids. That's the idea American image right there. All you're missing is a white picket fence and a dog named Happy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's kind of the idea of American household right there, right? So we're maybe some of y'all are not looking at this deep enough, but I want you guys to from here on out pay attention to how much they paint Charlie Kirk out to be like the Christ. They're going to refer to him in a biblical sense. I want you guys to pay attention to this, right? They say Charlie Kirk was a giant, right? This is Israel, Muslims, right? That's giving idolization to a man. I want you guys to really pay attention to this, of how they idolize this man. And remember, the Bible says that, the devil will always appear to you in the form of a man. The Bible tells you that if you aim to please man, you will have few friends, or many friends, and if you aim to please God, you will have few friends. The Bible always tells you if you put your faith in man, you'll fail every time, right? But if you look at this, I want you guys to see, right? Because I'm going to say this and then I'm going to go play the game. The only way you guys are going to see the Christ is if you see the Antichrist first. The Antichrist will have to reveal himself before the Christ reveals himself. And this is why I say the Antichrist has to reveal himself, because we are in a time of pride and ego, right? So the Antichrist will have to come out and say, your God did nothing for you, and look what I have done for you. Look at all the things that I have done for you, and your God did nothing for you. So when you pay attention to this, you will know who the Antichrist is, because the Antichrist will show favor over himself more than God. And that is when you will know that we are in hell. Because that is when a Christ-like being, a real Christ-like being, will have to lead you out. Because you don't know that you're here yet. You don't know that you're in hell yet. You're thinking you're in the in-between place. No. Christ keeps coming down to hell to try to save sinners. That's why we're in a sinful world, where they multiplied the sin in this world. And Christ-like beings keeps on coming down here to try to give you guys an example of how to be. So they unalive the Christ-like beings, and then a false Christ presents itself, an anti-Christ, a Baal, right? So they keep on cutting down the Christ-like beings, indigos, light seeds, star seeds, whatever, and then a false light appears. So you will never see the Christ until you're able to see the anti. All right. And that's I just want to leave you guys with that. I'm gonna go play the game as per usual. I hope you guys, see the world and open your eyes to it. I mean, we're in it together, but maybe we're perceiving it different. Y'all know me. I'm gonna go play the game. I'm content. I see what it is. I'm not chasing. I'm not, forcing. I'm gonna, if I gotta sit alone, I'll sit alone. I'm okay with being by myself. Peace is something that's within, and I cherish that.
If we want more, we should explore. There will be no losing. Let love guide you. Let love be the light. Let love guide you. Let love be the light. Let love guide you. Let love be the light. It's inside you, shining day and night. If someone says, I know the way, should we just go follow? Or do the ones who take the lead end up feeling hollow? Blurring lines and blurring times, this is what they're doing. 'Cause if we know inside our hearts, then it's worth pursuing. Let love guide you. Let love be the light. Let love guide you. Let love be the light. Let love guide you. Let love be the light. It's inside you, shining day and night. Na, na, a wise man told me once before.
Yo, is that true? Is that true? Hold on. Is somebody? All right, I need to look this up. Well, I don't really need to look it up. I don't care. But did T.I.'s son get assaulted? Never mind. Oh, man, love is love, y'all. Y'all have a great day. Try to do something special today. Treat yourself. Make today what you want to make it. Be great at everything that you do. If nobody told you that they love you today, let me be the first but not the last to tell you that I love you. Great things is happening. And literally, like, I just want everybody to smile a little bit more, shake the negative off, man. A lot of people try to bring you their negative. A lot of people think that they can just sit there negative on you. That's just transfer demons. Be careful for transfer demons. A lot of people, that's why I say I don't look at people as being real anymore, because in retrospect and in reality of this, it's like, a lot of people think that they can just give you their negative and that makes them positive. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people think that. So what they'll do is they go out and try to make other people look negative so they can feel positive. It's the weirdest shit ever. But you know, this is why I say I'm just trying to be better than the person that I was yesterday, right? And that's it. That's all I can try to do. I'm just trying to be better than the person that I was yesterday, and only half as good as the person I'm going to be tomorrow. And with that, you know, I hope you guys have a great one. We'll get the numbers back up. We'll figure out a way to bring numbers over here from TikTok or something of that. Like I say, you know, narratives are being pushed all over the place. We are coming up on possible, you know, being monetized. So maybe some good things that happen and we can get a good panel of people over here. Other than that, man, I'll continue to try to bring, you know, forth different variations of enlightenment. We do have to start the classes back up. So once we do get monetized, I will start the classes back up. I will, you know, other than that, man, I don't know what to tell y'all. Y'all have a great